Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing a few different positive news pieces recently released around Tesla stock, and of course the company as well. Both the stock and the company play very well hand in hand because, as we know, we can infer on a lot of this information and kind of get like a head start compared to the rest of investors that will only be reactionary when a lot of these events actually happen. So that's the good thing about keeping up with these news pieces. You get a little bit more insight than most of the people that are just waiting for when it actually happens to start buying more of the stock. So I like to use these news pieces to my advantage. And like, for example, recently I learned about the Model Y and how it's actually on track to begin production a lot sooner than we thought so with the Gigafactory in Shanghai. And I think the Model Y is going to play a big role in deliveries, especially in 2021 in Shanghai. So that's just like one of those news pieces that you can get a little bit of a head start on. And once they finally start out pumping really crazy numbers for the Model Y, there will likely be some people buying in with Tesla stock at that point in time based off of that news. But we can kind of get an idea on that ahead of time, and if we want to make purchases right now, we can do so. So that's the benefit to keeping up to date with this news, and of course it's just interesting in general as well. So as always, if you all do enjoy the Tesla news videos, please make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out. But we're going to start off with really the smallest news piece for today, or at least like the news piece with the least amount of content. This is all about a recent tweet by Elon Musk. So let's go ahead and check this out, and then I'll discuss it a little bit further. So with this first one today, like I said, this is a tweet by Elon Musk stating many exciting things will be unveiled on Battery Day, which is on 9/22, of course, September 22nd. So, of course, this is just a simple tweet about Battery Day. Exciting things are supposed to be happening, but he does state unveiled, as if there's a product that may be revealed, or just some really key information. And of course, the Battery Day itself, just the name in itself, describes some context as to the topics that will be discussed with that event. However, with him talking about unveilings and things like that, I start to think about the Cybertruck unveiling. And of course, I don't know if it's going to be anything that huge, but I think we could be seeing some hints about the Plaid Model S with this tweet right here, and possibly some things that haven't even really been hinted at by Elon Musk or even some of the news reports recently. So like I've mentioned in previous videos, there is some excitement about, of course, just the battery aspect of Battery Day, but then there's also discussion around a possible Plaid Model S, Plaid Model X, and things like that. And there has been discussion of Tesla possibly having more vertical integration with them potentially producing their own battery cells, which I think is actually kind of likely, and it would be a really smart move in my opinion. But this is just one of those things where it just keeps the conversation going even more about Battery Day at this point. We can't really infer a lot from just this tweet alone. It's just one sentence, and most of it is nothing new. We know that it's going to be exciting, but the fact that he also uses the word exciting kind of makes me think a little bit, because of course I think Elon Musk knows everyone is interested in the batteries and what they'll be doing for the future in terms of increasing production and scaling their business further. But just from a general perspective, I feel like Elon Musk wouldn't be discussing just batteries themselves as exciting. I think he understands that just the general investing audience don't get too excited about batteries, so he could possibly be referencing something else here, as in something totally new, whether it's the Plaid Model S or some sort of new vehicle that we aren't even like planning on seeing, or maybe even like an announcement. It could be major information about creation of a new Gigafactory, or just some sort of other Tesla product that might not even be related to vehicles. So regardless, this does get the excitement going a little bit more, as it does state a lot of exciting things being unveiled. And it also says many exciting things, so we could actually see multiple huge announcements on Battery Day. At this point, just keep in mind that Battery Day has been delayed over and over and over and over, month after month, to the point where they've likely decided to hold off on some big announcements for this event. So previously, Battery Day might have been pretty big, but not as huge as it would be today, just because of the fact that they might have held off on some big announcements just to keep it all compacted into this one big event. So all of this is certainly exciting. I know this is just simply a tweet, but it still just gets that conversation going even more about Battery Day, because I think pretty much all of us Tesla fans and investors are just really excited about this event. So I just thought that was an interesting tweet, but let's go ahead and head into the next news piece for today, which is actually pretty interesting because it relates to batteries as well. So this is an article by Electric and author Fred Lambert. So of course, as always, we greatly appreciate this information. If it wasn't for websites like these, then we would not have the insight that we do around Tesla. So much appreciated. But the article states Tesla is working on a carbon neutral nickel supply deal with Giga Materials, according to a report. And so this does include a quote from Elon Musk in the earnings call in July, in which Elon stated, well, I'd like to just re-emphasize any mining companies out there, please mine more nickel, okay? Wherever you are in the world, please mine more nickel, and don't wait for nickel to go back to some high point that you experienced some 5 years ago. Whatever. Go for efficiency, obviously environmentally friendly nickel mining at high volume. Tesla will give you a giant contract for a long period of time if you mine nickel efficiently and in an environmentally sensitive way. So hopefully this message goes out to all of those mining companies. Please get nickel. And so I want to leave some of this article for you all to check it out for yourselves, but I just want to include some of the key points of this that does include a recent quote by Giga Metals president Martin Vidra that basically kind of references the idea that Tesla could be working with them, since we haven't really gotten like a clear-cut comment from Tesla themselves about this just yet. However, this does kind of reference to that idea, in which the Giga Metals president states, Giga is actively engaged and has been for some time with automakers regarding our ability to produce carbon neutral nickel. And then another quote states, Giga Metals has been mentioned in recent media articles as they pertain to ongoing efforts to advance the turn-again deposit to commercialization. What I can say is that there is no material announcement forthcoming, and we will be keeping regulators and investors informed of any material changes that require disclosure in accordance with securities regulations. So that article continues to talk about the company Giga Metals much further in depth, so I definitely recommend checking out the rest of that, but we basically just emphasized on the key points right there, in which a report is noting that Tesla is possibly working with this company. So just considering what we've heard in the past from Elon Musk and just what this company needs at this point in time, this is definitely not a surprise. Now, I don't know if this is going to be like a notable news piece for Battery Day. It might be something that they just casually mention, but this is still very important because Tesla needs a nickel supply. And kind of like a positive thing about this as well is if Tesla is pretty much buying as much nickel as they can get right now, then that makes it a little bit more difficult for competing companies to get nickel as well. So that is kind of like an advantage Tesla has right now, especially with this most recent $5 billion share offering, where they have plenty of capital to spend to reinvest in the company. And so if it is actually rare to source nickel right now, and Tesla's purchasing most of that nickel available, then it does open up some bottlenecks and some issues for these EV startup companies and these EV competitors, which honestly I view as a good thing. Of course, you could compare like just the general renewable energy aspect. You could say we want everybody to succeed and things like that, but I have to admit I have a little bit of a bias. I want Tesla to absolutely dominate the competition. I know that's not the nicest thing ever, but it's good for my portfolio, I have to say. So I'm not going to lie about that, but obviously at this point in time that could give Tesla just a tiny bit of an advantage combined with everything else, like with the software, autonomy, and of course battery efficiency as well. That kind of plays a role in that section, but still that's kind of like one of those small possible advantages that Tesla could have if it is pretty difficult to source nickel. But still, of course, I do care about the environment and stuff like that, but I just have to admit I would love to see Tesla kind of have just a little bit even more of an advantage than they already do, just because I think this company deserves it. If you really think about it, nobody was even on track to actually try to do what Tesla was doing until they made it profitable, until they made it a huge business. So I think Tesla deserves to be in the lead and be that dominant company in the future, given that they're pretty much a trailblazer for EVs and renewable energy. And finally, we have one last article for today, actually 3 news pieces for today, and this is an article from Teslarati and author Dacia J. Ferris. Hopefully I said that right, but as always, of course, once again, we greatly appreciate this information. And the article title states, Tesla Energy ramps hiring at Giga New York for accelerated solar production. So this relates to what we were just talking about with that renewable energy aspect. And getting into this article a little bit more, it states that Tesla is hiring for over 30 different positions at Giga New York, and that the job listings on LinkedIn included skills such as engineering, equipment maintenance, production operations, and roof installers. And according to Teslarati, who spoke to some employees at the plant, they stated that the facility is currently operating on a 24-hour schedule 6 days a week just to keep up with demand. So of course I'll end it with that information right there, but the article continues on on to talk about that more in depth. So definitely feel free to check it out. I'll leave it linked in the description along with the other article from Electric. But that's a huge thing as well. It talks about how there is a lot of demand right now. They're operating 6 days a week, 24 hours a day just to keep up with that demand. And this is really huge in my opinion, because the energy business for Tesla is going to be just as big, if not bigger, as Tesla's auto business. So I'm actually really excited about this. And solar panels are something that I would really love to have farther on into the future. Once I have my own house, my own Tesla, I'm financially independent and I'm able to afford something like that, I'd love to buy solar panels just because it feels like you're like self-sufficient if you have a Tesla and solar panels and all of those things. And of course it helps with affordability as well in the long term. And I think there's likely a lot of people like myself as well. Like I'm only 22, so it's going to be a while before I can have my own house where I can install solar panels, but I think there's going to be that effect as well with a lot of people like me that are growing up, in which they'll finally be able to afford a house and they'll finally be able to afford solar panels. And I think we will see demand for those increase as we get farther into the future, just because like I said, there's a lot of people at my age that I believe are thinking the same way, and it's just going to be some time before they can get a setup to where they can actually buy the solar panels to put it on something and where they'll actually have some money to invest in that. So as time goes on, I think the energy business for Tesla obviously is just going to get better and better and better, and the demand is going to get higher and higher and higher. And that applies to the auto business as well, in my opinion. But anyways, all of these are just some interesting news pieces that I wanted to share with you all, and it relates to Tesla stock in the sense that it gives us a lot of insight for the future. Just keep in mind that a lot of investors, just the casual investors, like to factor in things or buy a stock based on when the event actually happens. But when we keep up with these news pieces, we're able to get some insight prior to the event happening. And it's pretty easy to infer results based off of Tesla's actions right now, because as we know, they always do what they say they're going to do. So hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please make sure to smash that like button if you did. And also, feel free to check out Robinhood and Webull in the description below. If you sign up with my referral link, you'll get some free stocks. And especially with Webull right now, you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 if you use my referral link and deposit $100 into your account. Just wanted to let you all know about that, but hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.